Speaker. My question is to the Minister for the Environment and Energy. Will the Minister update the House on the action the government is taking to improve energy affordability and reliability so that local businesses in South Australia, like the Portside Hotel in Port Pirie, in my electorate, can grow and create more jobs?
The Minister for the Environment and Energy.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Grey for his question. Know that he, like the other members from South Australia on this side of the House, the member for Barker, the member for Boothby, the member for Sturt, are concerned about the rising power bills in South Australia. Indeed, in the member for Grey's electorate, he has some of the biggest employers in the state. He has Arium, he has BHP and he has Nearstar. But it's not just the big employers that are affected by the higher prices, it's also some of the medium-sized employers like the Portside Hotel at Port Pirie. And they say if their power prices were more reasonable, they could employ 2 more people. That means 2 more bartenders, that means 2 more cleaners, that means 2 more chefs. That means the South Australian Labor Party is denying new jobs to the people of South Australia by the fact of their reckless energy policy, Mr Speaker, by their reckless energy policy. And that's why the Turnbull government has intervened in the gas market to ensure that we get more supply and that we get prices down. That's why we've taken steps through the parliament to pass a bill abolishing the limited merits review, to stop the networks gaming the system. We've got a better deal from the retailers for millions of Australians. We're investing in storage like the Upper Spencer Gulf Coltana project in the members' electorate, like on the York Peninsula with a 30-megawatt battery, Mr Speaker. And that's why we've accepted the advice of the Energy Security Board with the National Energy Guarantee, which will see an average household $300 a year better off than they would be under the Labor Party's emissions intensity scheme, and wholesale prices down by some 23%, Mr Speaker. Now, I'm asked, am I aware of any alternative approaches? Well, we know that in South Australia, Premier Weatherall conducted a big experiment. We know he conducted a big, dangerous experiment. And we know when the lights went out, the member for Port Adelaide called it a hiccup, Mr Speaker, a hiccup. So BHP lost over $100 million, and that was a hiccup, according to the member for Port Adelaide. And we know that South Australians, like at the Portside Hotel, are paying on average 20% more for their power prices than they are in other states, Mr Speaker. And that we know when it comes to hot summer months, South Australia relies more than ever on that connection cord to Victoria and coal-fired power from Victoria, Mr Speaker. And we know that they've had to wheel in expensive, polluting diesel generators that use up to 80,000 litres an hour just in case they need to keep the lights on, Mr Speaker. Now, if that wasn't all bad enough, the Leader of the Opposition, who vacates the chair when it gets a bit too tough for him, he wants to take the South Australian experiment national, Mr Speaker. A 50% renewable energy target, a reckless 45% emissions target. So don't look at what Labor says, look at what Labor does. Higher power prices is by Labor's name.
The member for Grayndler.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is addressed to the Deputy Prime Minister.